Rahim. وَمَنْ يَرْغَبُ عَنْ مِلَّةِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ إِلَّا مَنْ سَفِهَ نَفْسَهُ وَلَقَدِ اصْطَفَيْنَاهُ فِي الدُّنْيَا وَإِنَّهُ فِي الْآخِرَةِ لَمِنَ الصَّالِحِينَ إِذْ قَالَ لَهُ رَبُّهُ أَسْلِمْ قَالَ أَسْلَمْتُ لِرَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ رَبِّ اشْرَحْ لِي صَدْرِي وَيَسِّرْ لِي أَمْرِي وَاحْلُلْ عُقْدَةً مِنْ لِسَانِي يَفْقَهُوا قَوْلِي. Ameen Rabbil Alameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Ayah number 130, Surah al-Baqarah. Just to backtrack a little bit, we were talking about the history of Bani Israel. We talked about guidance. This Fatiha began with us asking for guidance from Allah because we realized that our minds are limited, that we can't get guidance on our own. We need an external help. And so we asked for guidance in Surah al-Baqarah, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us that guidance in Fatiha, and Allah gave us that guidance in Surah al-Baqarah. Okay? And talking about guidance, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talked about a previous nation, the Muslim of the past, the Muslim Ummah of the past, Bani Israel, how they had guidance and what did they do with their guidance and how they messed up and how they failed their test. Okay? And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala transitions to Ibrahim alayhi salam's story and explains how even he was tested much more severe than the test of Bani Israel and how he passed. So we are right now in the story of Ibrahim alayhi salam and how he completed his test. Let's continue inshallah at number 130. وَمَنْ يَرْغَبُ عَنْ مِلَّةِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ إِلَّا مَنْ سَفِهَ نَفْسَهُ. And who would detest and turn away from the religion, from the millah of Ibrahim alayhi salam, except for the one who is the foolish one. وَلَقَدْ اصْطَفَيْنَاهُ فِي الدُّنْيَا. And we have selected, we chose Ibrahim alayhi salam in this world. وَإِنَّهُ فِي الْآخِرَةِ لَمِنَ الصَّالِحِينَ. Verily he, Ibrahim alayhi salam, is going to be among the righteous in the hereafter. So we see that closeness to Ibrahim alayhi salam is going to be through his following. You don't become close to someone just because you are from their lineage. Yes, Bani Israel were from the lineage of Ibrahim alayhi salam, right? So are the Muslims. Just because you belong to this lineage, right, of Ismail, and then you're connected like that, that's not why you become close to that person. Rather, it's through your following, your obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and following that person. So same thing, our closeness to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Sahabas is because of our following, not because we are from his lineage or whatnot. إِذْ قَالَ لَهُ رَبُّهُ أَسْلِمْ. So Allah says, when we said to Ibrahim alayhi salam, Aslim, when his master said, Aslim, submit, قَالَ أَسْلَمْتُ لِرَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. The response of Ibrahim alayhi salam was, to immediately have something like Ibrahim salam, that when he heard a command from Allah, he would submit it, right? And we saw in the previous ayat how they're begging Allah to show them the rites and rituals of worship. How to worship, Ya Allah, show us, arina manasikana. And here when Allah told him, he would submit, wala man aslama wajhahu lillah, right? Next ayah, وَوَصَّى بِهَا إِبْرَاهِيمُ بَنِيهِ وَيَعْقُوبُ. And Ibrahim alayhi salam gave an advice. So did Yaqub alayhi salam to their sons. Ya bani, ya baniyam, O my sons, inna Allah astafa lakum ad-din, fala tamutunna illa wa antum muslimun. That they say that, O my sons, verily Allah has chosen you for you this religion, and do not die except in the state of submission, except as Muslims, right? Not as a Jew, not as a Christian, not as a polytheist, as a Muslim. Muslim is someone who submits their will to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? And so who is giving this advice to who? Ibrahim alayhi salam is giving an advice to his son, okay, his sons, Ishaq and Ismail alayhi salam. And through Ishaq, one of the sons, Ishaq alayhi salam, you have Yaqub alayhi salam. And Yaqub alayhi salam is giving his advice to his sons, the 12, remember the 12 tribes, Bani Israel. So you have Ibrahim alayhi salam giving his advice to his sons, and the grandson Yaqub alayhi salam is giving his advice to his sons. So why is Allah mentioning Yaqub? Because Allah is telling Bani Israel and the Muslims, look, all of you go back to the same root, right? And you got the same message, right? Same advice was given to both the lineages, right? And so especially Bani Israel got that same message, and they all said, the sons of Yaqub alayhi salam, they all said that we are going to be Muslims, submitting to you. أَمْ كُنْتُمْ شُهَدَاءَ إِذْ حَضَرَ يَعْقُوبَ الْمَوْتِ. Were you present? Were you witnessed when death came to Yaqub alayhi salam? إِذْ قَالَ لِبَنِيهِ, when he said to his sons, مَا تَعْبُدُونَ مِن بَعْدِي. This is Yaqub alayhi salam, a father questioning his son. You know, these are his parting advice. You know, when you are about to die, parents usually talk about money. Parents usually talk about, food, where things are, how wealth should be divided, and all that. Which is not that. It's not like it's not important. It is important. But look at the concern of this father. He's concerned about their iman, and so he questions, "Ma ta'buduna min ba'di." Right? He's actually checking their iman. He doesn't say man ta'buduna, who will you worship? It says ma, right? Could be living or non-living. Ma could be living or non-living. So ma ta'buduna min ba'di, tell me, what will you worship? Not who will you worship. What will you worship after me? What's your iman going to be? Qalu, they said, na'budu ilahak, we will worship your Lord, wa ilaha aba'ik, and the Lord of your fathers. Yaqub as-salam's forefathers, right? Like Ishaq and Ibrahim alayhi salam. Ilaha abaik, who? Ibrahim, wa Ismail, wa Ishaq, ilahun wahid, one God, wa nahnu lahu muslimun, and we are going to be submissive to him only. And so, here what Allah is saying is, Ismail alayhi salam is legitimized by the Bani Israel. Look at this ayah here. The Bani Israel are responding to Yaqub alayhi salam, and they're saying, we will worship your fathers. Who does it include? Yaqub, Ibrahim, Ismail, and Ishaq. So Bani Israel themselves are saying that Ismail is, a legitimate son. And how could you, Bani Israel, today neglect the Prophet ﷺ, right? تِلْكَ أُمَّةٌ قَدْ خَلَتْ. That is a nation that has already passed. لَهَا مَا كَسَبَتْ وَلَكُمْ مَا كَسَبْتُمْ. They will have whatever they earned, and you will have whatever you earn. وَلَا تُسْأَلُونَ عَمَّا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. And you will not be questioned about what they used to do, right? History is learned, right? History is learned so that we know what the people did and how we can change our actions, right? The point is not to look for details. The point of history is to go back and gain guidance from it. Again, this book is what? ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى. This book is full of guidance. Everything to do with guidance, Allah will mention it here, right? So the entire history was to teach us a lesson, a guidance. We gain some guidance from that. وَقَالُوا كُونُوا هُودًا أَوْ نَصَارَى تَهْتَدُوا. These Bani Israel, they say that become Jews or Christians, then you will be guided. قُلْ بَلْ مِلَّةَ إِبْرَاهِيمَ حَنِيفًا. Tell them, Ya Rasulullah, the millah of Ibrahim, the religion of Ibrahim, Hanifan, the one who was a true monotheist, the one who was submissive to Allah, that is the real religion. وَمَا كَانَ مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ. And he was not from the idol worshipping, right? The Christians worship someone other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They worship Jesus, right? They say he is the son of God and see all kinds of things. And the Jews also worship Uzair. وَقَالَتِ الْيَهُودُ عُزَيْرٌ ابْنُ اللَّهِ. Right? So Allah is saying that you think being a Jew and Christian is being guided, rather is the religion of Ibrahim, Abrahamic faith, right? Following that faith is a true faith. So he was committed. So Allah moves on. وَقُولُوا آمَنَّا بِاللَّهِ. Say, all of you say, آمَنَّا بِاللَّهِ. We have believed in Allah. وَمَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْنَا. And whatever came down to us. وَمَا أُنزِلَ إِلَى إِبْرَاهِيمَ وَإِسْمَاعِيلَ وَإِسْحَاقَ وَيَعْقُوبَ وَالْأَسْبَاطِ. And we believe in whatever came down to Ibrahim, Ismail, Ishaq, Yaqub, and the tribes of Yaqub alayhi salam, which is all the future prophets, right? Asbat. وَمَا أُوتِيَ مُوسَى وَعِيسَى. And we believe in whatever came down to Musa and whatever came down to Isa. Why these two prophets are highlighted again? Because all the prophets, the major prophets of Bani Israel came between Musa and Isa. Okay? So we believe in all the prophets. even Musa and Isa. وَالنَّبِيُّونَ مِن رَبِّهِمْ. We believe in all the prophets, and they are from their master. لَا نُفَرِّقُ بَيْنَ أَحَدٍ مِّنْهُمْ. We don't differentiate between any of them. Everybody, we believe them equally. وَنَحْنُ لَهُ مُسْلِمُونَ. And we are Muslims, completely submitting to him. This is what a believer is supposed to have. This is a true iman. And this ayah is a reiteration of the first few ayat of Surah al-Baqarah, right? Muttaqun believe in what came down before them. They believe in the unseen, the prophets, books, everything is reiterated here. Okay, one thing to notice now, look at the language. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not speaking to Bani Israel. Allah is saying, Qul, Qulu, right? So all of you say to them, tell them, Qul bal, right? To show that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not interested in talking to them. It's like you tell a kid, okay, you talk to the kid, he makes a mistake, don't do it, right? Again, he makes a mistake, don't do it. I'm telling you, a bit more strict. And then you start, if you have to, you take some, punishment, hit them, the stick or something like that, or you put some penalty, whatnot. You keep getting stricter and stricter, and then what happens? What happens? Fine, I'm not going to talk to you. You guys, so you ignore this kid, and you just focus on somebody else. You guys don't be like this, right? This like this person, don't be like this person, right? And so Allah is not speaking to them. He speaks to another group about them. Who's the other group? That's a Muslim ummah, right? So Allah says in ayah number 137, فَإِنْ آمَنُوا بِمِثْلِ مَا آمَنْتُمْ بِهِ فَقَدْ اهْتَدَوْا. So if they believe like the way you have believed, then they are guided. So Allah is saying to Bani Israel that if they believe, if they have iman, like the way you have had iman, like the Sahabas have had iman, فَقَدْ اهْتَدَوْا. Then they are committed to guidance. Then they are on the true path. فَإِنْ تَوَلَّوْا فَإِنَّمَا هُمْ فِي شِقَاقٍ. But if they turn away, then they are in shiqaq, in rift. فَسَيْكْفِيكَهُمُ اللَّهُ. Allah is sufficient for you against them. وَهُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ. Allah is all-hearing and all-knowing. Now your iman and my iman is only complete when we believe like the Sahabas have believed, right? Our iman is only accepted by Allah. Our actions are only accepted if it is according to the actions of Rasulullah and the Sahabas. فَإِنْ آمَنُوا بِمِثْلِ مَا آمَنْتُمْ بِهِ فَقَدْ اهْتَدَوْا. That's why learning about Sahabas, learning about the Prophet is so important. Because otherwise, how do you know how to pray? How do you know how to connect? And that's exactly what the Prophet was sent, right? Remember the dua of Ibrahim alayhi salam, send a prophet who's going to teach them the book and wisdom and application of this book. That's why Allah is saying, if they do what you're doing, then they are guided. Sibghat Allah. I love this expression. Sibghat Allah. Allah's color. It's the color of Allah. Why is it nasab? Because a fa'al is dropped before it. So here, what does it mean, the color of Allah? You have to imagine, if there is like a painting on you, if someone painted you, let's say with blue color, okay, what you see is that blue color, right? You don't see yourself, but you see the blue color, right? So imagine like you have the color of Allah and you're drenched in the color of Allah, meaning when people look at you, they don't look at you, they see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are reminded of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? Like the way your face is, like the way you talk, Allah is coming out of your mouth all the time. You're doing salah, you're doing siyam, all kinds of things. And they look from far and they could say, this is a believer, right? Sign, there should be a sign. And a lot of people try to hide their sign that they are Muslims. They change their names, they change the way they look, they want to just, fit in. And they don't want to look like a Muslim. Allah is saying, Sibghat Allah, the color of Allah. Back in Jewish, in the Bani Israel, when someone accepts their religion or comes into their religion, they would bathe them with red water back in the days, right? Bathe them with red water. That's the color they would give, right? So Allah is saying, that's not important. The true thing that matters is the color of Allah. That someone looks at you, they're reminded of you. وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ مِنَ اللَّهِ صِبْغًا. Who is better than Allah in respect to coloring? What can be a better color than the color of Allah? وَنَحْنُ لَهُ عَابِدُونَ. And we are worshippers to Him. That you are a abid, that is your title. You're not a doctor, you're not an engineer, you're not a Canadian, you're not a student, whatnot. You are a abid. Are we fine? Can you guys all hear me? Bismillah. Hello. Okay, sorry, yeah, something happened. Screen stopped sharing. I guess, sorry. Is Farhan still the host? Okay, I became the host. I guess Farhan was dropped. Anyways, let's keep going. Inshallah, Farhan comes in all. I'm not sure what happened there. Okay, Heather, you go ahead and share the screen, inshallah. Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وَنَحْنُ لَهُ عَابِدُونَ قُلْ أَتُحَاجُّونَنَا فِي اللَّهِ. Say, are you arguing with us regarding Allah, concerning Allah? وَهُوَ رَبُّنَا وَرَبُّكُمْ. He is our Rabb and He is your Rabb. وَلَنَا أَعْمَالُنَا وَلَكُمْ أَعْمَالُكُمْ. For us is our deeds and for you is your deeds. وَنَحْنُ لَهُ مُخْلِصُونَ. And we are sincere worshippers to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. أَمْ تَقُولُونَ. And so tell them, do you say أَمْ تَقُولُونَ إِنَّ إِبْرَاهِيمَ وَإِسْمَاعِيلَ وَإِسْحَاقَ وَيَعْقُوبَ وَالْأَسْبَاطَ كَانُوا هُودًا أَوْ نَصَارَى. Are you really saying that Ibrahim, Ismail, Ishaq, Yaqub, and the tribes of Yaqub were Jews or Christians? قُلْ أَنْتُمْ أَعْلَمُ أَمِ اللَّهِ. Tell them, Ya Rasulullah, do you know better than Allah? Are you more informed? Or is Allah? وَمَنْ أَظْلَمُ مِمَّنْ كَتَمَ شَهَادَةً عِنْدَهُ مِنَ اللَّهِ. And who could be more unjust than the one who hides a testimony from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Right? So hiding the truth. Who could be more unjust than that? Like you have the Bani Israel hiding the truth. Right? Makkah is mentioned in the scriptures. A prophet will be sent to Makkah. They would change the word Makkah to Sakka. And you have Ismail alayhi salam being sacrificed. They would change Ismail alayhi salam to Ishaq alayhi salam being sacrificed, as if Ismail alayhi salam never existed. So all of these things, who could be more unjust than the one who conceals the truth? وَمَا اللَّهُ بِغَافِلٍ عَمَّا تَعْمَلُونَ. And Allah is not unaware, unmindful of of all the things that you do. So Allah subhanahu is saying, like, how could you say that Ibrahim alayhi salam was a Jew or a Christian when Ibrahim alayhi salam came before? This is coming later on when we get into Ali Imran. That how could you say Ibrahim alayhi salam was a Jew or Christian when Ibrahim alayhi salam was born before? He came before the Jews and Christians. Let me just Farhan, are you up? Okay, see, but I don't. Oh, okay, Heather is the host. Okay, let me get that back. Sorry. Okay. All right. Bismillah. Okay, go ahead, Farhan. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Ayah number 141. Tilka ummatun qad khalat. That is a nation that has already passed. Laha ma kasabat wa lakum ma kasabtum. They will have what they earn, and you will have whatever you earn. Wala tus'aluna amma kanu ya'malun. And you will not be asked about what they used to do. Right? You should not be concerned about the other nation. You should be concerned about yourself. You will be asked for what you do. Now that they're over, right? Their test is over, and they have failed the test. It is now your turn. O Muslims, it is now your turn. Let's see what you got. Let's see what you are going to do. Moving on, this ayah completes the conversation with Bani Israel, right? And so then we move on to the next section. And so ayat number 142 to 152, these 10 ayat or 11 ayat, they talk about the change in Qibla. Okay, the change in Qibla from Bayt al-Maqdis, from Jerusalem to Masjid al-Haram. The change in Qibla actually symbolizes the change in leadership. Okay, very important to understand this. The change in Qibla symbolizes the change in leadership. So before the Muslims were facing the Kaaba in Medina, when they came to Medina, they were following the religion of Jews and Christians because they were just from the people of the book. They had scriptures, so they were following their religion. So they were facing Jerusalem. And now the ayat come to change the Qibla. Don't follow the Qibla of Jews and Christians. Now you have your own Qibla to show that you are now a new nation that follows Ibrahim alayhi salam, the true Millah of Ibrahim alayhi salam, and you have a different set of laws. And so this command to change the Qibla came in the 16th month of Hijri. Okay, no, this is fine. Yeah. Okay. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. سيقول السفهاء من الناس ما ولاهم عن قبلتهم التي كانوا عليها. The foolish ones among the people, they say, what has turned these people from their qibla that they were upon? قل لله المشرق والمغرب. Tell them, Ya Rasulullah, that the east and the west belongs to Allah. يهدي من يشاء إلى صراط مستقيم. Allah guides whomever He wills to the straight path. The foolish ones here are Bani Israel. The foolish ones of Bani Israel, when the Muslims changed the Qibla, the Bani Israel were like, why are they changing the Qibla? They got scared. Did Allah change? Did Allah actually remove the leadership from us? And what has turned them? So Allah was saying, tell those foolish people that Allah owns east and the west, and He will guide whomever He wants to the straight path. And that straight path actually hinged to the conquest of Mecca. إلى صراط مستقيم وكذلك جعلناكم أمة وسطا. And that is how we made you, O Muslim Ummah, a balanced nation. You see, a new nation is formed, and what is the highlight of this nation? It is a balanced nation. أمة وسطا. Go back to Fatiha. What was the balance of the Muslim Ummah? They had what? Knowledge and action. Knowledge and action. That is what Allah highlights here, that you are that nation. Remember, أنعمت عليهم had knowledge and action. That's exactly ummatan wasatan, that you are going to be the definition of what the ummah of Rasulullah, the ummah of Allah looks like, right? When people look at the middle nation, a balanced nation, a nation that balances dunya and deen, a nation that balances individual life and collective life, a nation that is just so good in balancing that the entire nation looks at them and they just can't, they're just baffled by the way the Muslim Ummah functions. Ummatan wasatan. Why? لِتَكُونُوا شُهَدَاءَ عَلَى النَّاسِ, so that you be a witness over the mankind. وَيَكُونَ الرَّسُولُ عَلَيْكُمْ شَهِيدًا, and that the messenger will be a witness over you. This is one of the scariest part in the Quran. Here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that when you follow the laws of Allah and show that this is a middle nation, then what's going to happen? The entire Ummah, on the day of judgment, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks the entire humanity, why didn't you accept the message? They cannot point fingers at Muslims. Why? Because Muslims followed that. When you follow the message of Allah, then the entire humanity has a witness. There's a witness against them. You had people amongst you. You had a Muslim neighbor who followed. And how come you didn't accept Islam? So the Ummah, the entire humanity, cannot talk against us. And the Prophet ﷺ will be a witness that yes, we have followed this message and carried on this message. But on the flip side, if you and me don't follow the message of Allah, don't follow the message of the Quran, then what's going to happen? The entire people, humanity, will come and they will say, we never got any invitation from Muhammad. We never got any invitation from Hamza or from Bilal. No invitation. How could we know this is the truth, Ya Allah? And they will blame the Muslim Ummah. And on the other side, the Prophet ﷺ will also say that my Ummah has left the Quran. يَا قَوْمِ اتَّخَذُوا هَذَا الْقُرْآنَ مَهْجُورًا. So when you follow this deen, there's two reward. When you go away from it, there's two witnesses against you. Right? Okay, that's what Allah says. وَيَكُونَ الرَّسُولُ عَلَيْكُمْ شَهِيدًا وَمَا جَعَلَ الْقِبْلَةَ الَّتِي كُنْتَ عَلَيْهَا إِلَّا لِنَعْلَمَ مَنْ يَتَّبِعُ الرَّسُولَ مِمَّنْ يَنْقَلِبَ عَلَى عَقِبَيْهِ. And we did not change the Qibla except so that we know who really follows the messenger and who turns on his heels. What does that mean? The change of Qibla was actually a test for the believers. The change of Qibla was actually a test for the believers. Now there's two changes in Qibla, so you have to keep in mind, right? When the Muslims went to Medina, there was a change from Kaaba to Bayt al-Maqdis, right? To Jerusalem. So that change was to test who is going to follow the messenger and who still has some kind of idol worshipping, love for idol worshipping in him and faces the Kaaba. Okay, that was the first test. And then so once that is cleared from the Muhajirun, then Allah had changed it back to the Kaaba to see who among the Jews and Christians still has love and a thing for Bayt al-Maqdis. So the whole change in two sides was to see, do you have any love for idol worshipping, and do you have any love for prejudice and racism, right? Do you still have prejudice and racism, and do you still face Bayt al-Maqdis? So that was a change to see who follows the messenger. وَإِنْ كَانَتْ لَكَبِيرَةً إِلَّا عَلَى الَّذِينَ هَدَى اللَّهِ. Indeed, it is very hard upon the people except for those whom Allah guides. وَمَا كَانَ اللَّهُ لِيُضِيعَ إِيمَانَكُمْ. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not going to let your iman, let your actions go to waste. And this refers to the people who are facing Bayt al-Maqdis and praying towards us. So the Sahabas asked, Ya Rasulullah, how about those people who are facing Bayt al-Maqdis, right, Jerusalem, and praying? Are their salahs all gone and they have left the world? Is that salah wasted? Allah says, وَمَا كَانَ اللَّهُ لِيُضِيعَ إِيمَانَكُمْ. Allah is not going to let your iman go to waste. You see, actions, good deeds are called iman here, right? They go hand in hand. إِنَّ اللَّهَ بِالنَّاسِ لِرَؤُوفٌ رَحِيمٌ. Verily, Allah is very kind and merciful towards the people. Ayah number 144. قَدْ نَرَى تَقَلُّبَ وَجْهِكَ فِي السَّمَاءِ. Verily, we saw, in fact, we saw your face turning towards the sky. And this is referring to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You know, when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he went to Medina and he was facing Bayt al-Maqdis, he had this yearning and this love for the Kaaba. He really wanted to face the Kaaba while praying, right? So he would turn his eyes to the sky every now and then and kind of not even talk to Allah, but just like see the sky and beg him, right? Doesn't even utter anything, just looks at the sky. Allah is saying, we saw you turning towards the sky. وَجْهِكَ فِي السَّمَاءِ. While Allah will test you by the reduction of property, of lives, and of children. وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ. And still give good news to the ones who are patient. الَّذِينَ إِذَا أَصَابَتْهُمْ مُصِيبَةٌ. Who are those people? Who are the sabirin, patient ones? There are those people who إِذَا أَصَابَتْهُمْ مُصِيبَةٌ. Whenever a calamity hits them, قَالُوا, they say, إِنَّا لِلَّهِ وَإِنَّا إِلَيْهِ رَاجِعُونَ. Verily, we belong to Allah, and to Him is our return. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Okay, sorry, what's happening here? So just 1 second, guys. Inna lillahi musibah. When the musibah comes, they say Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. These are all small musibats. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Who are the people who are patient when a calamity hits them? You know what musibah means? Musibah is a sniper shot from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's supposed to come to you, it's targeted. That's what musibah is. Don't think it's something that happened without or just happened by chance. It was supposed to happen to you. It was targeted towards you. But what do they say when the musibah comes towards them? Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. We belong to Allah. Allah owns us, and Allah can do whatever with us. We are going to return to Him, right? أُولَٰئِكَ عَلَيْهِمْ صَلَوَاتٌ مِّن رَبِّهِمْ وَرَحْمَةٌ. Those are the people on whom the blessings of Allah is and His mercy. أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُهْتَدُونَ. Those are the people who are guided. أُولَٰئِكَ, to show the far pointer used to show their high status. Now, give me an example. What's an example of patience and guidance? And the best example of patience and guidance is the example of Hajar alayhi salam. So in the next ayah, Allah subhanahu talks about Safa and Marwa. Inna Safa wal Marwata min sha'airillah. Verily, Safa and Marwa are from the signs of Allah. They remind you of the sacrifice and the patience of a woman, of a righteous woman, Hajar alayhi salam, when she left Ismail alayhi salam in the desert and was running from Safa to Marwa searching for water. That was patience. That's true patience. And musibah comes, she accepts it. She does not blame the husband. She does not blame, anybody else, saying that what kind of a condition I'm in, why this, why that, why am I have to go through this? Nothing. Complete patience. So Allah says, فَمَنْ حَجَّ الْبَيْتَ وَاعْتَمَرَ فَلَا جُنَاحَ عَلَيْهِ أَن يَطَوَّفَ بِهِمَا. Whoever goes to perform Hajj or does Umrah, there is no sin upon them that they go and do the sa'i of Safa and Marwa. وَمَنْ تَطَوَّعَ خَيْرًا. And whoever does a good deed willingly, فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ شَاكِرٌ عَلِيمٌ. Verily Allah is appreciative of them and He knows them. Meaning if you do more than once, right, you go for Umrah, voluntarily do more and more, then Allah appreciates that. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَكْتُمُونَ مَا أَنزَلْنَا مِنَ الْبَيِّنَاتِ. One of the scariest ayah in the Quran for me. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَكْتُمُونَ مَا أَنزَلْنَا مِنَ الْبَيِّنَاتِ. Indeed, those people who conceal whatever we have sent down from the clear proofs, وَهُدَى, and guidance, مِن بَعْدِ مَا بَيَّنَّاهُ لِلنَّاسِ فِي الْكِتَابِ, even after we have made it clear to the people, أُولَٰئِكَ يَلْعَنُهُمُ اللَّهُ وَيَلْعَنُهُمُ اللَّاعِنُونَ. Those are the people whom Allah curses, and the people who curse, their curse is also upon them. So what is this ayah saying? The people who hide what Allah sent down, meaning the Quran, the revelation, whatever has come down to us from Allah, if you and me don't make an effort to share this message with the people, first of all, to believe in it, with use your reasoning, come to the conclusion, accept this message, follow it, everything, the Quran and Sunnah, everything, and then you teach this, show this to people. If you don't do it, Allah says Allah's la'na, Allah's curses on those people. Except who's exempted from this? الَّذِينَ تَابُوا, those people who repent. How do you repent? You stop the bad thing that you're doing, meaning you start spreading, you start accepting, following this deen and spreading this deen. تَابُوا وَأَصْلَحُوا, and you rectify the mistakes. وَبَيَّنُوا, and you clarify the Quran to the people. فَأُولَٰئِكَ أَتُوبُ عَلَيْهِمْ, those are the people I shall forgive. وَأَنَا التَّوَّابُ الرَّحِيمُ, and I'm the one who always forgives and is always merciful. So, as an ummah, we're either involved in the act of clarifying the book or hiding the book. That's it. There is no middle ground. Either you're sharing this message or you're hiding this message, nothing else. We feel shy to lift our legs in the sink, when you have to do wudu, and thinking that what would the people say? Or if I have to pray the whole time, what would my friends say? Those kinds of feelings come in our heart. That is hiding what Allah has sent to you. You need to start the conversation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They will not start it. It looks awkward, yes, but you need to share this message. And if you have gold, if you are a decent person, if you're a good human being, you will share this extra. If you have something precious nobody has, you will share it with them, right? And so, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا, verily those people who disbelieve. Remember, kafaru is always contextual. So in this context, what is kafaru? To hide the revelation. Right? The kufr is hiding revelation, hiding the truth. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا, those people who hide the truth, وَمَاتُوا, and they die in that state, وَهُمْ كُفَّارٌ, while they're disbelievers, أُولَٰئِكَ عَلَيْهِمْ لَعْنَةُ اللَّهِ, upon them is the la'na of Allah, the curse of Allah. Now la'na is in the ism form. Before it was يَلْعَنُ, it was in the fi'al form. Now it's in the ism form, which is a permanent state, because once you die, your case is over. La'natullah is the curse of Allah, wal malaikati wan nasi ajma'in, and the curse of the angels and all the people all together. Khalidina fiha, they're going to remain in it forever. La yukhaffafu anhum al-'adhab wa la hum yunzarun, the punishment is not going to be lightened on them. Wa la hum yunzarun, and they will not be given any respite, any time. Why are these people getting such a severe punishment? That Allah is saying their punishment will not be lightened. The people who hide the book of Allah. Why? Because وَإِلَهُكُمْ إِلَهٌ وَاحِدٌ, your Lord was one Lord. La ilaha illahu, there's no one but He. Huwa ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, and Allah the most merciful and most loving. You, because you hid the message, because you didn't share the mercy of Allah with people, people thought Allah is there to punish. People had bad thoughts about Allah because they did not get the Quranic thought. They did not get the right revelation. So they were thinking God is there to punish. God is, bad. God is not merciful. But Allah says, Rahman Rahim. He was most merciful. And you, because of you, people turn away from Allah. That's why you have such a severe punishment. Inna fi khalqi samawati wal ard. Verily, in the creation of the heavens and the earth, waqtilafi al-layli wal nahar, and in the changing of the night and the day, وَالْفُلْكِ الَّتِي تَجْرِي فِي الْبَحْرِ بِمَا يَنْفَعُ النَّاسِ, and in the ships that flow in the sea and that which benefits the people. وَمَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مِنْ مَاءٍ فَحْيَا بِهِ الْأَرْضَ بَعْدَ مَوْتِهَا, and in what Allah sends down from the water, which gives life to the earth after it's dead. وَبَثَّ فِيهَا مِنْ كُلِّ دَابَّةٍ, and in the way Allah has spread all kinds of creatures on earth. وَتَصْرِيفِ الرِّيَاحِ, and in the changing of the winds. وَالسَّحَابِ الْمُسَخَّرِ, and in the movement of the clouds that are subjugated between the sky. بَيْنَ السَّمَاءِ وَالْأَرْضِ لَآيَاتٍ لِقَوْمٍ يُعْقِلُونَ. There are many miraculous signs for a nation that understands. So again, going back to the beginning, coming to truth can happen through ayat of the Quran. You can read the ayat of the Quran and come to guidance and understand about Allah. The other way to come to guidance is through pure reflection. That's why a person who studies science, a person who reflects over the universe, will submit to Allah, because you just can't understand the symmetry, the perfect programming of every single thing in your body, in the universe, how everything is calculated. That one nucleotide in the DNA changes, everything changes, right? One small mistake happens during transcription, everything changes, right? So that perfection, for that to happen, it is pure, can be chance. It has to be someone, a being that controls. So Allah is saying in all of these things, there are many signs for a nation that understands, that thinks about things, right? Ya'qilun. But how come they're not thinking? How come there's so many people who are intellectuals, but they don't come to this conclusion, right? Many actually do come. The true scientists actually come towards it. But what is the reason that they cannot come to the conclusion? Because there's something wrong with the heart. We talked about this before. So the next ayah is about heart. وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَتَّخِذُ مِنْ دُونِ اللَّهِ أَنْدَادًا يُحِبُّونَهُمْ كَحُبِّ اللَّهِ. And among the people are those who take equals besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. يُحِبُّونَهُمْ كَحُبِّ اللَّهِ. They love that thing like the way they should love Allah. The people, why they don't accept the truth? Because they love their desires. They want to follow their desires. Someone loves alcohol, for example, no matter how right, how many papers he reads on the harmful effects of alcohol, he's not going to leave alcohol. No matter how clear it is for the people that Allah should be followed and all that, they will not accept because their desires are towards something else. They love that thing like the way they love Allah. And the Arabs would say, Man ahabba shay dhakarahu kathira. How do you know you love Allah? How do you know what you love the most? What is the way to test? Whatever you love, that's what you mention a lot. Now you record your speech for 24 hours and see for yourself, what do you say the entire day? What are you talking about? Are you talking about people? Are you talking about the negative things about people? Are you talking about games only? Are you talking about politics all the time? Or are you talking about Allah? What is the common thing? What is the thing that you utter the most, including salah, right? So if Allah is on your tongue, if everything you see reminds you of Allah, then you love Allah more than anything else. So Allah says, وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. But for the believers, الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَشَدُّ حُبًّا لِلَّهِ. They're intense in the love for Allah. You know why it's important to love? Because when there is love, you could do any commandment and you will not feel the difficulty. Because a lot of commandments are about to come. Salah, Hajj, Jihad, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about zakah, right? Interest. All kinds of things will come in the future. And for you to follow, you need to love Allah. If there's no love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, forget the entire religion. If you have love for Allah, the salah becomes easy. So وَلَوْ يَرَى الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا إِذْ يَرَوْنَ الْعَذَابِ, when those people who transgress, when they see the punishment, أن إِذْ يَرَوْنَ الْعَذَابِ أَنَّ الْقُوَّةَ لِلَّهِ جَمِيعًا, then they will understand that the power belongs to Allah, وَأَنَّ اللَّهَ شَدِيدُ الْعِقَابِ, that Allah's punishment is severe. إِذْ تَبَرَّأَ الَّذِينَ اتُّبِعُوا مِنَ الَّذِينَ اتَّبَعُوا. Here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives a reason why people don't accept, why they don't accept the religion and submit to Allah, is because of peer pressure. Because of peer pressure, your leaders, the people who you look up to, they don't believe in Allah, so you don't believe in Allah. So Allah says on the day of judgment, the people who were followed will disassociate with the ones who they followed. Okay, the followers will disassociate, will cut themselves off from the leaders, and the leaders will cut their followers too. Right? وَرَأَوُا الْعَذَابِ وَتَقَطَّعَتْ بِهِمُ الْأَسْبَابِ. When they see the punishment, all connection will be cut. Okay? So the trendsetters and the trend followers will be cut off. Right? Will be cut off. And you know, what Allah is teaching us here is that a Muslim ummah should be trendsetters. They should not be followers. You should set the trend. You should be the one who should bring fashion. You should be the one who should set the new way of speaking, or new way of communicating, or new way of talking, walking, whatnot, right? So you have to be the trendsetters. Don't be, and Allah is saying here, don't follow any leaders blindly. So like the Bani Israel, they were following their leaders blindly, not knowing. You and me need to know the Quran. Quran is for everyone. It's not just for a scholarly community. Keep that in mind. This book came down for all the people, so no one is misled by anybody else. This ummah need to be educated in the basics. Yes, some sophisticated things are for the scholars to decide, but the general meaning of the Quran is for all the people, every single Muslim in the world, right? Every single human being, actually. Okay, so وَقَالَ الَّذِينَ اتَّبَعُوا, so those people who follow, they will say, لَوْ أَنَّ لَنَا كَرَّةً فَنَتَبَرَّأَ مِنْهُمْ كَمَا تَبَرَّأُوا مِنَّا. They will say, if only we had one more chance to go back to this dunya, we would have disassociated them like the way they have cut us off today. We would have not followed them like the way they have not followed, like the way they have cut us today, we would have cut them in dunya. كَذَلِكَ يُرِيهِمُ اللَّهُ أَعْمَالَهُمْ حَسَرَاتٍ عَلَيْهِمْ. That is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shows them their deeds as a source of regret for them. وَمَا هُمْ بِخَارِجِينَ مِنَ النَّارِ, and they are not going to be taken out from fire. يَا أَيُّهَا النَّاسِ, O you who have believed, O people, كُلُوا مِمَّا فِي الْأَرْضِ حَلَالٌ طَيِّبًا. Now dietary laws are being mentioned. Okay, so food is the first thing of the laws that I mentioned. The most important is good food. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about food first. Ya ayyuhan nas, O mankind, kulu mimma fil ardi halalan tayyiban. Eat from the good and lawful things that we have provided for you. وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا خُطُوَاتِ الشَّيْطَانِ, and do not follow the footsteps of shaitan. Do not follow the footsteps of shaitan. Why? Because the people of the past, they had superstitions about food. Oh, if you eat this food, magic will happen. If you eat that food, this thing will happen, or that. No, all kinds of superstition. I was saying, don't follow that. إِنَّهُ لَكُمْ عَدُوٌ مُبِينٌ. Verily, shaitan is a clear enemy to you. إِنَّمَا يَأْمُرُكُمْ بِالسُّوءِ وَالْفَحْشَاءِ. Shaitan only commands you to do evil things and fahsha. First time this word is coming now. Fahsha is indecency, right? Lewdness, right? Obscenity. All of that. That's why shaitan commands you to وَأَن تَقُولُوا عَلَى اللَّهِ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. And shaitan makes you say things that you have no idea about. This can mislead you. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمُ اتَّبِعُوا مَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهِ. When it is said to the people, follow what has Allah sent down, they say, قَالُوا بَلْ نَتَّبِعُ مَا أَلْفَيْنَا عَلَيْهِ آبَاءَنَا. They say that we will follow what our forefathers are upon. You know, the reason why a lot of people don't come to the truth is because they are thinking, oh, our forefathers used to follow it, we'll just do that. You know, my grandfather used to do it. Are you saying my grandfather is wrong? Are you saying my father is wrong? And Allah is saying, أَوَلَوْ كَانَ آبَاؤُهُمْ لَا يَعْقِلُونَ شَيْئًا وَلَا يَهْتَدُونَ. Don't they know that their forefathers did not understand anything and they were not guided? Right? The Quraysh would say, like, to the Prophet ﷺ, they would come and say, so Muhammad ﷺ, you are saying that you are better than Abdul Muttalib? Is that what you're saying? And you know, it's like a scary thing to do, right? Because if you say yes, then everybody will just jumps on the Prophet ﷺ, right? How dare you say that you're better than Abdul Muttalib, right? And if he says no, that will be wrong. So the best answer there was the Prophet does not even respond to it, right? So that was their attitude, and a lot of people have this. No, 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 my father, how can I turn away from his religion, right? No way. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here is telling that Islam demands us to think. You and me need to be thinkers, okay? Think and come to the religion. You and me should not be Muslims because our parents are Muslims. You should not be Muslim because your parents are Muslim. Yes, that's an advantage we have, but you should rethink your faith, rethink your world, and then come back to the faith. Renew your faith, right? Don't follow your parents blindly or anybody in this world blindly. Think and then do it. وَمَثَلُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا كَمَثَلِ الَّذِي يَدْعُقُ بِمَا لَا يَسْمَعُ إِلَّا دُعَاءً وَنِدَاءً. Allah says the example of those people who disbelieve is like you yelling, is like someone yelling at the cattle, right? It does not hear what you're saying except for some noises, okay? So speaking to these people is like speaking to cattle, right? To cow, sheep, whatnot, because they only hear the sound and they move. Whatever you tell them, they will. It's like speaking on deaf ears. They are deaf, blind, and dumb, and they do not understand. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. On the flip side, Allah says, "Oh, you who have believed." These are people of thoughts, people who think. On the flip side, كُلُوا مِن طَيِّبَاتٍ. Eat from the good things, مَا رَزَّقْنَاكُمْ, that we have provided you, وَاشْكُرُوا لِلَّهِ, and only be grateful to Allah, إِن كُنْتُمْ إِيَّاهُ تَعْبُدُونَ, if you worship Him alone. And so Allah saying, eat what Allah told you to eat, right? Don't follow the pundits, the rabbis, the priests, the clergy, the forefathers, nobody else. Your culture, your new law, your Rabb is Allah, so you follow Him alone. And there's a hadith the Prophet mentions that the one who offers salah like us, the one who faces the Kaaba, and the one who eats from what we have slaughtered, he is a Muslim. Okay? That should be your way of eating. إِنَّمَا حَرَّمَ عَلَيْكُمُ الْمَيْتَةَ. So what is forbidden? Everything is made halal. What is forbidden? إِنَّمَا حَرَّمَ عَلَيْكُمُ الْمَيْتَةَ. The dead animals are made haram to you. If you see a dead animal, you can't eat it. وَالدَّمْ, and blood is made haram. وَلَحْمَ الْخِنْزِيرِ, and the meat of swine. وَمَا أُهِلَّ بِهِ لِغَيْرِ اللَّهِ. And any meat that is slaughtered without the name of Allah. So the 4 things that are made haram. Again, dead animals, blood, meat of swine, and any meat on which the name of Allah is not mentioned. Why is mentioning the name of Allah important in every food? Because Allah is a provider, right? So the animal should be slaughtered in His name as a sign of gratitude, right? In the previous ayah, Allah saying, وَاشْكُرُوا لِلَّهِ. How do you thank Allah? By sacrificing for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَمَنِ اضْطُرَّ غَيْرَ بَاغٍ وَلَا عَادٍ. And whoever is forced into it without being outrageous or not being aggressive, فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ, there is no sin upon him. So you're allowed to eat the haram food only when there are 3 conditions met. Okay, 3 conditions. Number 1, if you are dying out of hunger, there's absolutely nothing available. If you don't eat this, you will die, so you can consume the haram. Number 2, you should have no desire for it. If you have to eat, may Allah forbid, may Allah protect us from this, but if you have to eat a haram meat, then when you eat it, you should eat with disgust. Okay, you should not have any desire for it. And number 3, you should take enough, okay, for survival. You should not just take everything, take enough for survival. Okay? فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. Indeed, Allah is most forgiving and most merciful. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَكْتُمُونَ مَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ مِنَ الْكِتَابِ. Verily, those people who hide whatever Allah has sent down from the book, وَيَشْتَرُونَ بِهِ ثَمَنًا قَلِيلًا, and they purchase it with a small price. So what does that mean? That these knowledgeable people, they hide the truth from the common people, right? And they didn't stop the evil, right? So that's hiding the truth means that the people of knowledge hide the truth from the common people. And when these knowledgeable people, when they see something evil, they don't stop them. Why? If they stop them, then they will lose their position. They will lose their following. They will lose money. They will lose funding, whatnot. So they don't stop the evil from happening. So that's what Allah says. They sell the truth for a small price. أُولَٰئِكَ مَا يَأْكُلُونَ فِي بُطُونِهِمْ إِلَّا النَّارِ. They are only putting fire in their stomach. وَلَا يُكَلِّمُهُمُ اللَّهُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ وَلَا يُزَكِّيهِمْ. And Allah will not speak to them on the day of judgment. وَلَا يُزَكِّيهِمْ. And Allah will not purify them. Remember, the Prophet ﷺ came to purify the people. But the people who hide the truth, Allah says they will not be purified. Allah will not purify them. And these leaders, these knowledgeable people, they give the impression to the people that they are pure. I'm righteous. So they give this impression to the people. Allah saying they are not actually pure. In fact, وَلَا يُزَكِّيهِمْ وَلَهُمْ عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ, and they will have a painful punishment. أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ اشْتَرَوُا الضَّلَالَةَ بِالْهُدَى. Those are the people who have purchased misguidance in exchange for guidance. Did we see this before? Yes, we did, Bani Israel. So Allah is saying, even among the Muslim Ummah, some of us are following the footsteps of Bani Israel. They have purchased guidance, misguidance in exchange for guidance. وَالْعَذَابَ بِالْمَغْفِرَةِ, and they have purchased punishment in exchange for forgiveness. فَمَا أَصْبَرَهُمْ عَلَى النَّارِ. How patient are they over the fire? This is sarcasm. ذَلِكَ بِأَنَّ اللَّهَ نَزَّلَ الْكِتَابَ بِالْحَقِّ. That is because Allah sent down the book with truth. وَإِنَّ الَّذِينَ اخْتَلَفُوا فِي الْكِتَابِ لَفِي شِقَاقٍ بَعِيدٍ. The people who differ concerning the book are far away, are in drift or in split. لَيْسَ الْبِرَّ أَن تُوَلُّوا وُجُوهَكُمْ قِبْلَ الْمَشْرِقِ وَالْمَغْرِبِ. Righteousness is not that you turn your faces towards east and west. Now this ayah is the ayah of righteousness, ayatul bir. If you want to know, now what can I do to become a righteous person? What is righteousness? In the previous ayah, these fake scholars are trying to tell the people, we are so good, but they hide the truth. But Allah is saying the real righteousness is this. So here Allah mentions 12 qualities of muttaqeen. Okay, but take note of this. So righteousness is not that you turn east or west. It's not just ritual or qibla or the way you dress. It's not the way you look, your beard, your pants above the ankles. It's not just the outer shell. It's about something else. That's what righteousness is. What is it? Number one, man amana billah, one to have iman in Allah, wal yawm al-akhir, and the last day, wal malaika, and the angels, wal kitabi wal nabiyyin, and the angels, they have iman in the last day, the book, and the prophets, and the angels. Okay, so actually 15 qualities. You can count it, inshallah. Wal malaikati wal kitabi wal nabiyyin, they believe in the last day, the angels, and the books, and the prophets. وَآتَ الْمَالَ عَلَى حُبِّهِ. Now, what is the first thing they do? They give wealth despite the love for it. They give wealth, they spend. Remember from the beginning? وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ. They give. That's what Allah. Who should you give now? Allah explains. You give first, you start from your relatives. ذَوِي الْقُرْبَى, to your close people, وَالْيَتَامَى, and then to the orphans, وَالْمَسَاكِينَ, then to the poor, وَابْنَ السَّبِيلِ, and the people who are traveling to seek Allah's, to seek knowledge, وَالسَّائِلِينَ, and the people who ask you, the beggars, وَفِي الرِّقَابِ, and you can give wealth to free slaves. If you don't have slaves today, we don't have slaves today, but you can give wealth to free people from debt. Okay? Someone is immersed in debt, you can give wealth. وَأَقَامَ الصَّلَاةِ, and that you establish salam. وَآتَ الزَّكَاةِ. Okay, so أَقَامَ الصَّلَاةِ وَآتَ الزَّكَاةِ, and they establish salah and they give zakah. You see, when you think about righteousness, you think a person, someone who prays and gives zakah. But rather, Allah brings that later on. First is spending, mu'amalats, and then the salah comes, right? So أَقَامَ الصَّلَاةِ وَآتَ الزَّكَاةِ وَالْمُوفُونَ بِعَهْدِهِمْ إِذَا عَاهَدُوا. They fulfill their promises whenever they promise. وَالصَّابِرِينَ, and the ones who are extremely patient فِي الْبَأْسَاءِ وَالضَّرَّاءِ, in times of distress. They exercise patience. أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ صَدَقُوا, those are the truthful people. وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُتَّقُونَ. Remember this term? هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ, for the people who guard themselves. These are the muttaqun. So the muttaqun, detailed actions of muttaqun are mentioned here. Okay, again, there are 15 qualities of muttaqun mentioned in this ayah. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, O you who have believed, kutiba alaykum al-qisasu fil qatla. Now, the next ruling is that kutiba alaykum al-qisasu fil qatla, the rule of equal retribution has been prescribed to you in regards to the one who is murdered. Okay, someone is killed. What is the law? That person should be killed. Capital punishment. Okay, al-hurru bil-hurr, free man for the free man, wal-abdu bil-abd, the slave for the slave, wal-untha bil-untha, the female for the female. فَمَنْ عُفِيَ لَهُ مِنْ أَخِيهِ شَيْءٌ, whoever excuses his brother, okay, his brother, فَاتِّبَاعٌ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَأَدَاءٌ إِلَيْهِ بِإِحْسَانٍ. Then he should follow it up with common law and give the payment that is due. So if someone kills somebody else, the first thing is that that person should be killed. Okay? If not, if the killers, if the one who is murdered, his family decides to forgive that person, then they could forgive him or demand some money, okay, some payment in exchange for his life. And you know what's interesting here is akhihi, because the one who killed, Allah is saying, after all, is your brother, right, in humanity, so you should forgive him and let it go. Okay, وَأَخِيهِمْ ذَلِكَ تَخْفِيفٌ مِّن رَبِّكُمْ وَرَحْمَةٌ. That is a mitigation from your Rabb and a mercy. فَمَنِ اعْتَدَى بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ فَلَهُ عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ. And whoever transgresses, who goes beyond that, then they will have a painful punishment. وَلَكُمْ فِي الْقِصَاصِ حَيَاةٌ. Verily, in retribution there is life. Qisas is equal retribution. In capital punishment, Allah is saying there's life. There's life. How? Because when there is capital punishment, then the killers and the murderers are deterred from committing the crime. Okay? The people, so a murderer is protected when the law of retribution is abolished. Right? So Allah is saying by making the law strict, you are actually saving lives. Because then the killer will kill twice before committing a crime, because he knows he'll be killed. But if the killer knows that I'm just going to spend some time in the prison, it's not as severe. So Allah is saying there's life in qisas. Ya ulil albab, or people of understanding, or people of thought. Remember that same term coming again. People who think. You don't just follow blindly. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, so that you may guard yourself. كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمْ إِذَا حَضَرَ أَحَدَكُمُ الْمَوْتِ. It has been prescribed to you, mandated onto you. إِذَا حَضَرَ أَحَدَكُمُ الْمَوْتِ. When death comes to one of you, إِن تَرَكَ خَيْرًا. If he leaves a fortune, if you leave some money behind, الْوَصِيَّةُ لِلْوَالِدَيْنِ وَالْأَقْرَبِينَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. You should leave a will. You should leave a wasiyah for your parents and relatives that is just and equal. حقا على المتقين. It is a duty upon the muttaqeen, upon the people of taqwa. And this ayah was slightly modified and added in Surah An-Nisa. فَمَنْ بَدَّلَهُ بَعْدَمَا سَمِعَهُ. So after that person dies, okay, person leaves a will saying that this much wealth should go to my parents, this much should go to my daughters and sons, whatnot. But if anybody, after they die, they change it, they change what they have heard or what they see, فَإِنَّمَا إِثْمُهُ عَلَى الَّذِينَ يُبَدِّلُونَ. Then the sin is going to be on them for changing it. إِنَّ اللَّهَ السَّمِيعٌ عَلِيمٌ. Verily Allah is all hearing and all knowing. فَمَنْ خَافَ مِنْ مُوصٍ. And whoever fears the one who wrote the will, جَنَفًا أَوْ إِثْمًا, partially or does something wrong. Okay, فَأَصْلَحَ بَيْنَهُمْ فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ. He could rectify it and there's no sin upon him. So if you see that the will is against the law of Allah, right? And these ayat will later on be discussed in Surah An-Nisa. If you see that the will is against the law of Allah, is not somehow just, you could rectify it and there's no sin upon you. In Allah Ghafurur Rahim. Verily Allah is most forgiving and most merciful. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. Now the laws of fasting. We talked about dietary laws and then talked about inheritance, qisas. Now it's about fasting, because a new nation needs new laws, right? So Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, O you who have believed, كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الصِّيَامُ كَمَا كُتِبَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. Fasting has been made obligatory, has been prescribed onto you like the way it was prescribed to those before you, so that you may have taqwa. This ayat came earlier, before the qibla change and all that. So before, the fasting was the fasting of Bani Israel, and that was fasting for 3 days in the month, in every single month. Fasting 3 days every single month. That was the law, and it was not obligatory. That was the first law. And then again, ma'dudat, very, very small. At is a jam'u qillah, which is 3 to 9 days. So here's 3 days of fasting. فَمَنْ كَانَ مِنْكُمْ مَرِيضًا. So whoever is sick, أَوْ عَلَى سَفَرٍ, or are traveling, فَعِدَّةٌ مِنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخَرٍ. Then they have to make up those fasting on other days. So if you're sick or traveling, you can make up those other days. وَعَلَى الَّذِينَ يُطِيقُونَهُ فِدْيَةٌ. And those people who are old, who have lost their strength, they could give a fidya, a redemption, right? Give some money to the people. طَعَامُ مِسْكِينٍ, feeding a poor. فَمَنْ تَطَوَّعَ خَيْرًا فَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَهُ. But if you are weak and you can fast, but you still kind of try your best and you fast, then it is good for you. وَأَن تَصُومُوا خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ, that you fasting is better for you, in kuntum ta'lamun, if you are believers. These ayat came before. Now the new law for the believers comes. Okay, the 3 days was all for the people before, and the Muslims are following that for some time until the new law came. So the ayat of salah came in progression, the ayat of fasting came in progression. So this is progression. Now comes the most important ayah for us, ayah number 185, is ayah of Ramadan. Only month of Islamic calendar mentioned by name. Shahru Ramadan, the month of Ramadan. Stop. Don't read ahead. When you think of a month of Ramadan, what comes to mind? What do you think about? A lot of us think about fasting, right? A lot of us think about iftari, right? And suhoor. Okay, that's what we think about. Look at what Allah says. Shahr Ramadan, the month of Ramadan is الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. This is a month in which the Quran was revealed. This month is a month of Quran. هدى للناس, it's a guidance for all people, not just Muslims. وبينات من الهدى والفرقان, and it is a clear proof and from guidance, and it is a criterion. فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصم. The new law is, whoever witnesses this month of Ramadan, they should fast it the entire month. فَلْيَصُمْهُ وَمَنْ كَانَ مَرِيضًا, and whoever is sick, أو على سفر, or on a travel, فَعِدَّةٌ مِّنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخَرٍ, then they have to make up those days later on. يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ بِكُمُ الْيُسْرَ, Allah wants ease for you. وَلَا يُرِيدُ بِكُمُ الْعُسْرَ, Allah doesn't want hardship for you. وَلِتُكْمِلُوا الْعِدَّةَ, so you could complete your numbers. وَلِتُكَبِّرُوا اللَّهَ عَلَى مَا هَدَاكُمْ, and you could proclaim and do the takbir of Allah whenever you finish. When you عَلَى مَا هَدَاكُمْ, you proclaim the takbir of Allah for Allah guiding you. So when you finish the month of Ramadan, we see Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar. We glorify Allah, tukabbirullah. Why do we glorify Allah? Thanking Allah that Allah guided us. What was that guidance here? He guided you to revive your soul. This month, guys, the month of Ramadan is a month to revive our soul. That's what's happening. Allah weakens the body, so you focus on your soul. Revival of the soul. وَلَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ, so that you may thank Him. Why do we thank Allah? What is the purpose? When do we thank? We only thank when there's a blessing. What is a blessing mentioned in this ayah? The blessing is Quran. The blessing is Quran. So the month of Ramadan, keep this in mind, I'll say this twice. The month of Ramadan is a celebration of the Muslims thanking Allah for the Quran. Christmas happens once a day, one day, right, in the whole year, right, one day. But the way we celebrate the Quran, the way we thank Allah is by fasting for the entire month. That is our way of thanking Allah. Okay, and that's why we should spend our time in Ramadan with the Quran. That's it. Nothing else should be the focus. Nothing else. وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي, and when my servants ask you about me, O Ya Rasulullah, فَإِنِّي قَرِيب, tell them that I am near. Ibad, you have to prove to Allah that you are a servant of Allah. Once you prove that, then Allah says, Inni qareeb, ujibu da'wat ad-da'i idha da'an. I answer to the call of the caller whenever he calls. This is a dua. When you call Allah, He responds to you. فَلْيَسْتَجِيبُوا لِي. Now what should you do if Allah should accept your dua? فَلْيَسْتَجِيبُوا لِي وَلْيُؤْمِنُوا بِي لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْشُدُونَ. They should try and respond to Allah's call. If you want Allah to respond to you, you need to respond to Allah's call, which is obeying His laws, following Him. لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْشُدُونَ, so that they may be guided. So inshallah, I think it's a good time to pause for Asr break. And so after that, we will talk about other laws in fasting, especially the nights. What can the nights be, and Hajj, inshallah. Okay, so we'll give you 10 minutes break for Asr, and we'll come back and continue. Subhanallah bihamdihi, subhanallah azim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. 10 minutes. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. Okay, just want to go back a little bit. Some of you could not take the notes on Ayatul Bir, so I'm just want to mention the qualities of muttaqeen again, and then we'll continue with the ayat, inshallah. So the qualities of muttaqeen are, number one, they believe in Allah and the last day and the angels and the books, and then they give wealth to the relatives, to the orphans, to the poor, to the travelers, to the beggars, the needy people, to ask, and to free slaves, and they establish salah, they give zakah, they fulfill their promise, and they're patient in times of distress. Okay, so those are the qualities of muttaqun. Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, ayah number 187. We ended up talking about Ramadan, how Ramadan is a month of Quran, and we fast to celebrate the Quran. Okay, and after you prove yourself to Allah that you're abd of Allah in month of Ramadan, you show to Allah that you are a true abd of Allah, true worshipper of Allah, then your du'as, then you have the right to make dua. Remember in Fatiha we said, إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. First you become the abd, then you seek help. That's what's happening. First you become the abd, and then once you're abd, then Allah says, إِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي. Okay, then your du'as are accepted. And number 187. أُحِلَّ لَكُمْ لَيْلَةَ الصِّيَامِ الرَّفَثُ إِلَى نِسَائِكُمْ. It has been made lawful to you that in the nights of fasting, you can have a sexual relationship with your wives. Okay? هُنَّ لِبَاسٌ لَكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ لِبَاسٌ لَهُنْ. They are your covering and you are their covering. And this is the ayah that every single husband and wife should know. A husband and wife, Allah says, they are both covering to each other, clothes to each other. What is the purpose of clothing? Okay, a clothing is there for protection. Okay, a spouse protects the other person, other spouse, and then clothing is a sign of comfort. There's transparency in it, right? There's beautification, right? In clothing, you beautify, you look beautiful. So the spouse beautifies the other, and there's closeness. So هن لباس لكم وأنتم لباس لهن علم الله أنكم كنتم تختانون أنفسكم فتاب عليكم. Allah knows that you used to betray yourself and used to hide yourself, and do that, do whatever you're doing in the night. فَتَابَ عَلَيْكُمْ. So Allah forgave you and exempted you from it and forgave you. And so here, the Sahabas used to think that having sexual relationships with your wife in the night time was bad. And so some people would still do it, thinking that it's bad, and they had this guilty conscience. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reveals ayat to say, it is okay during the fast, you can do that with your wife, but during the night, it is completely fine. So Allah removes that guilty conscience, so the Sahabas don't have that. And so فَتَابَ عَلَيْكُمْ وَعَفَى عَنْكُمْ فَالْآنَ بَاشِرُهُنَّ وَابْتَغُوا مَا كَتَبَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ. Now you can enjoy with your wives, وَابْتَغُوا مَا كَتَبَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ, and seek what Allah has ordained for you. Meaning the purpose of marriage and being with your wife and doing that thing is to give forth children, right? To give rise to children. So وَابْتَغُوا مَا كَتَبَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ, work towards what Allah has ordained for you, meaning children. وَكُلُوا وَاشْرَبُوا حَتَّى يَتَبَيَّنَ لَكُمُ الْخَيْطُ الْأَبْيَضُ مِنَ الْخَيْطِ الْأَسْوَدِ مِنَ الْفَجْرِ. So in fasting, you can eat and drink until what? Until the dawn. Until the dawn, where you can see the white thread from the black thread. Okay, so this refers to the line of the daybreak, right? Dawn, when you have, you have a line, a horizontal line that you see, right? The morning light, right? The morning daybreak. And so unless you see the white light, you can continue eating. من الخيط الأسود من الفجر ثم أتم الصيام إلى الليل. Then complete the fast until the night falls, until Maghrib time. ولا تباشرهن وأنتم عاكفون في المساجد. You cannot have sexual relations with your wife while you are doing i'tikaf in the masjid. عاكفون في المساجد تلك حدود الله فلا تقربوها. Those are the boundaries set by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Do not come near it. كذلك يبين الله آياته للناس لعلهم يتقون. That is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala clarifies His ayat to you, His revelation to you, so that you may guard yourselves. وَلَا تَأْكُلُوا أَمْوَالَكُمْ بَيْنَكُمْ بِالْبَاطِلِ. The next law, the next ayat is on your finances, on bribing people. وَلَا تَأْكُلُوا أَمْوَالَكُمْ بَيْنَكُمْ بِالْبَاطِلِ. Do not eat the wealth of each other through unjust cause, with injustice. وَتُدْلُوا بِهَا إِلَى الْحُكَّامِ لِتَأْكُلُوا فَرِيقًا مِنْ أَمْوَالِ النَّاسِ بِالْإِثْمِ. And do not give what? Bribes to the people, right? الحكام, to the rulers. لِتَأْكُلُوا فَرِيقًا مِنْ أَمْوَالِ النَّاسِ بِالْإِثْمِ. By giving bribe, what do? You eat a part of people's wealth. So what happens in many countries, it happens, and I've seen this firsthand, where people give money to the lawyers, to the people, so that they fight the case and they make up laws, they win the case, and they eat the wealth of the opponent, even though they're wrong. Okay, they steal. That's how they steal. It happens a lot, right? In the Muslim Ummah and around the world, actually. So وَأَنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ, while you know, and do not do that as a Muslim Ummah. And there's a beautiful hadith that I want to share here. The Prophet ﷺ says, after all, I'm a human being. It is possible that a case is brought before me, and the one who articulates better than his opponent wins a case. It is possible, but and then he says, beware that whatever he has gained wrongfully is acquiring a piece of hell despite my ruling in favor of him. The Prophet said, I'm a human being. Two people can come and I could give a ruling to someone who can articulate better. He can provide the evidences better. Just the way he says it is different, is better. So I could rule for him, and that may be wrong. But just because I give the ruling, don't think that that something is legal for you or binding for you. That is actually earning a piece of hell. Okay? A piece of hell. So be careful, do not give bribes. Ayah number 189. يَسَأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْأَهِلَّةِ. And they ask you, Ya Rasulullah, about the new moon. Who is asking? The Sahabas. And here Allah is teaching us the right way of asking question. The right way of asking question. Not to mock or criticize, but you're asking to know how to do it. Ibrahim says, وَأَرِنَا مَنَاسِكَنَا. Show us how to worship Ya Allah. And here the Sahabas are doing that exact thing. How do you worship? What is the purpose of this? How do we do this? How do we do that? Ya Rasulullah, teach us. So, يَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْأَهِلَّةِ. They ask you about the new moon. قُلْ هِيَ مَوَاقِيتُ لِلنَّاسِ وَالْحَجِّ. Tell them, Ya Rasulullah, that it is used for timings, right? It is used for as a calendar for men and for Hajj. That is the purpose of moon. There is no other purpose. A lot of people have superstitions about the moon, that if the moon at this time you should apply for the job. If the moon is this, then you should get married, and all kinds of superstitions about the moon. I was saying it is used for as a calendar and for Hajj. So you know when the Hajj months are. وَلَيْسَ الْبِرُّ بِأَنْ تَأْتُوا الْبُيُوتَ مِنْ ظُهُورِهَا وَلَكِنَّ الْبِرَّ مَنِ اتَّقَى. It is not righteousness that you enter your homes from the back, but it is righteousness that you fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَلَكِنَّ الْبِرَّ, righteousness is the one who fears Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَأْتُوا الْبُيُوتَ مِنْ أَبْوَابِهَا. Enter the houses from its doors. So what there's also another superstition of the Arabs, that when they would leave for Hajj, and for some reasons they could not, complete the Hajj, they forgot something at home, or for some reason they had to come back, they will not come from the front door. They would come from the back door. Okay, they will jump from the window or from the back door, thinking that there's some kind of curse if you come back. How could you come back without completing the Hajj and Allah be unhappy? All kinds of things they made up about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah's, removing that. وَأْتُوا الْبُيُوتَ مِنْ أَبْوَابِهَا. Enter from its doors from the front. وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ. Fear Allah so that you may be successful. So Allah is removing all kind of superstition here. People have this, oh, this is my lucky pen. Oh, this is my lucky hat. Okay, this is my lucky t-shirt. Every time I wear this happens. Those kinds of things, should be removed. It is only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Victory and defeat or whatever happens is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَقَاتِلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ الَّذِينَ يُقَاتِلُونَكُمْ وَلَا تَعْتَدُوا. And fight in the way of Allah those who fight against you. وَلَا تَعْتَدُوا. But when you fight, don't be aggressive. Inna Allah yuhibbul mu'tadeen. Allah does not like those people who go overboard. So here, three conditions of fighting. When Muslims are going for war, for jihad, there are three conditions. Number one, that they are fighting must be in the way of Allah, okay, in service to His deen. That's it, not for personal gains, never. Number two, when you fight, that fighting must it should be that the other person starts the fight. So you should not instigate it. You're not starting it. You're defending it. They have to start first. Okay. And number three, when you do go for a fight, you should not be aggressive. You should stay within the limits. Don't kill the innocent people. Only kill the combats. In Allah la yuhibbul mu'tadeen. Allah does not like those people who go overboard. وَقْتُلُوهُمْ حَيْثُ ثَقِفْتُمُوهُمْ, and kill them wherever you find them. This is in the context of Meccan disbelievers after the conquest of Mecca. Okay, so there's a context of it. Don't misuse this. وَقْتُلُوهُمْ حَيْثُ ثَقِفْتُمُوهُمْ, and kill them wherever you find them. It's also in the context of battle, right? In battle, obviously, the opponent, wherever you find the opponent, you have to kill them. Right, that's what battle is about. وَأَخْرِجُوهُمْ مِنْ حَيْثُ أَخْرَجُوكُمْ, and expel them from where they expelled you first. وَالْفِتْنَةُ أَشَدُّ مِنَ الْقَتْلِ, persecution is worse than killing. وَلَا تُقَاتِلُوهُمْ عِنْدَ الْمَسْجِدِ الْحَرَامِ, and do not kill them near the sacred mosque. حَتَّى يُقَاتِلُوكُمْ فِيهِ, until they fight you. So don't fight them in the Masjid al-Haram until they fight you. فَإِنْ قَاتَلُوكُمْ فَقْتُلُوهُمْ. In Masjid al-Haram, you're not allowed to fight. But if they fight you in Masjid al-Haram, then you can fight them too. Then you can fight them. كَذَلِكَ جَزَاءُ الْكَافِرِينَ. That is the retribution for the disbelievers. فَإِنْ انْتَهَوْا, but if they give up, فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. Verily Allah is most forgiving and most merciful. وَقَاتِلُوهُمْ, and fight them, حَتَّى لَا تَكُونَ فِتْنَةً, until there is no persecution on the earth. وَيَكُونَ الدِّينُ لِلَّهِ, until the entire religion belongs to Allah, until everybody worships Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what does this mean? That a Muslim struggle never ends. Right? Allah is saying you need to fight against falsehood until every single person is at least exposed to the truth. Okay? To the truth. That's what you're doing. Obviously, this does not mean that you force people into Islam. That's not what it's saying. Because Allah clearly states, La ikraha fi din. But what it's saying is, your struggle should be against falsehood, against shayateen and his followers, from the people or from jinns, whatever it is. You're fighting against them. That's your enemy, right? So fight them until there's no persecution, okay? Fighting against whatever law of Allah is, whatever, whenever Allah is disobeyed, you fight against it. Okay, but that is again under the Muslim law. You had many non-Muslims, right? It's okay for non-Muslims to be under Muslim law and they follow their own religion. It's completely fine. Okay, but when there is a group causing fitna, causing corruption, causing harm in the land, you gotta fight them. Okay, فَإِنْ انْتَهُوا فَلَا عُدْوَانَ إِلَّا عَلَى الظَّالِمِينَ. But if they give up, then there is no hostility against those people except the ones who transgress. Ashar al-Haram bishar al-Haram. The sacred month is for the sacred month, meaning there should be no aggression, no killing happening in the sacred months. What are the sacred months? Take note of this. There are 4 sacred months. Okay, Arba'atun Hurum. There are 4 sacred months. The first 3 are the months of Hajj, and the last one is the month of Umrah. Okay, that's what the Arabs would divide. So the first 3 are Dhul Qa'idah, the 11th month, where people are usually traveling to Hajj, and Dhul Hijjah, that is a month of Hajj, and Muharram, that's when people are going back from Hajj. Okay, so that's Muharram. So these 3 are together, 11, 12, and 1, these 3 months. And then Rajab is the 4th month, and that is a month, Rajab is where people usually go for Umrah. Okay, so Ashar al-Haram wa Ashar al-Haram, the sacred months is for sacred month. There should be no fighting happening in these months. Wal hurumatu qisas, and even doing qisas in this month is forbidden. There should be no attribution, capital punishment. Nothing should be executed in this month. فَمَنْ يَعْتَدَى عَلَيْكُمْ فَاعْتَدُوا عَلَيْهِ بِمِثْلِ مَا اعْتَدَى عَلَيْكُمْ. But whoever attacks you, then you can attack them like the way they attacked you. If someone does fight you in the sacred month, then you can fight them. وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ وَاعْلَمُوا أَنَّ اللَّهَ مَعَ الْمُتَّقِينَ. And beware and be conscious that Allah is with those who are muttaqeen, who fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَأَنْفِقُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ, and spend in the way of Allah. وَلَا تُلْقُوا بِأَيْدِيكُمْ إِلَى التَّهْلُكَةِ. Very important to understand this. spend in the path of Allah. You know, you always hear spend in the path of Allah, spend in the path of Allah. Okay, sorry. So there's a note here. How do I, 4 months again? So 4 months that are sacred are, once again, Dhul Qa'idah, Dhul Hijjah, Muharram. 11, 12, 1. These are the 3 months. And then Rajab. Okay? Dhul Qa'idah, Dhul Hijjah, Muharram, and Rajab. So, anfiqu fi sabilillah, spend in the path of Allah. You always hear people saying, spend in the path of Allah, give sadaqah and all that. But here is the rationale. Why should you spend in the path of Allah? Because وَلَا تُلْقُوا بِأَيْدِيكُمْ إِلَى التَّهْلُكَةِ, do not throw your hands into destruction. If you want that Islam should spread, the deen of Allah should spread, doesn't the deen of Allah need funding? Doesn't the deen of Allah need financial support? How do you think we can establish the laws? How can you think you can spread the message if you don't have mass media, if you don't spend, right? If you don't invest on people's education, right? If you don't prepare, people who are going to convey this message, how do you think that's going to happen? So spend in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because if you don't spend to strengthen Allah's deen, then you are destroying your own world. Because one day the enemies of Allah will overpower you, right? And they will destroy your own world, your children, your own deen will be at stake. And you are going to lose your hereafter, because Allah will question you for not spending in His path on the Day of Judgment. Allah is saying, وَلَا تُلْقُوا بِأَيْدِيكُمْ إِلَى التَّهْلُكَةِ وَأَحْسِنُوا, be generous, do extra. إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُحِبُّ الْمُحْسِنِينَ, verily Allah loves those who are generous. You see again, muhsin, yuhibbu, hubb, love. Allah loves those who are muhsinin, right? A believer works for the deen out of the love of Allah. Okay, not because he has to spend, he spends because he loves Allah and everything to do with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, so I'll repeat one more time. The 4 sacred months are 11, 12, 1, and 7. Okay, 11, 12, 1, 7. So Dhul Qa'idah, Dhul Hijjah, Muharram, and Rajab. I hope that is 100%. Okay, okay. And this is coming again in the next ayat, inshallah. So وَأَتِمُّ الْحَجَّ وَالْعُمْرَةَ لِلَّهِ, and perform your hajj and umrah for the sake of Allah. فَإِنْ أُحْصِرْتُمْ, if you are barred for some reason, you could not, you make the intention to go for hajj or umrah and you could not do it, فَمَسْتَيْسَرَ مِنَ الْهَدِي, then make whatever is easy of the sacrifice. Then you have to make a sacrifice, the penalty has to be paid, you have to slaughter an animal. وَلَا تَحْلِقُوا رُؤُوسَكُمْ حَتَّى يَبْلُغَ الْهَدْيُ مَحِلَّهُ, when you go for hajj, do not shave your heads until the animal is sacrificed. Okay, حَتَّى يَبْلُغَ الْهَدْيُ مَحِلَّهُ, until the sacrifice reaches its slaughtering place. فَمَنْ كَانَ مِنْكُمْ مَرِيضًا, but if you are sick, أَوْ بِهِ أَذًى مِنْ رَأْسِهِ, if there's some ailment in your head, فَفِدْيَةٌ, then you can give a ransom, you can give a penalty, مِنْ صِيَامٍ أَوْ صَدَقَةٍ أَوْ نُسُكٍ. So what can you give? If you cannot shave your head because of some disease, then you could fast for 3 days, or you could give a charitable gift, feed 6 people, you could feed 6 people, or nusuk, or give 1 goat as sacrifice. فَإِذَا أَمِنْتُمْ, but when you are saved, فَمَنْ تَمَتَّعَ بِالْعُمْرَةِ إِلَى الْحَجِّ, then you can, whoever wants to perform umrah with hajj, فَمَسْتَيْسَرَ مِنَ الْهَدِي, then let him make a sacrifice, whatever is easy for him. Whatever is easy for him, do the sacrifice. So again, these are just highlights of the hajj, not everything is mentioned here, but we know that for those of you, it's not a course on hajj, but just to give you a brief overview, there are 3 types of hajj: hajj tamattu', hajj qiran, hajj ifrads. Hajj tamattu', the first one is when you combine umrah and hajj. Okay, you combine umrah and hajj and you remove your ihram. Okay, you perform your umrah, you remove the ihram, and then you put on the ihram again, perform your hajj. Okay, that's first kind of hajj. The second type of hajj is hajj qiran, and this is the hajj the Prophet ﷺ did. Qiran is close together. Okay, so this is umrah and hajj again, but this is umrah and hajj with 1 ihram. So you put on the ihram, you perform your umrah, and you continue with your hajj. Okay, and then ifrad, the third one is hajj ifrad, which is only hajj, no umrah there. Okay, so these are 3 types of hajj, and the Prophet ﷺ did qiran here. Okay, So whoever فَمَنْ تَمَتَّعَ بِالْعُمْرَةِ لِلْحَجِّ, there it's referring to Hajj Tamattu'. Okay, so Hajj Tamattu'. Now what are the Hajj days? Hajj days are from 8th of Dhul Hijjah to the 12th of Dhul Hijjah. Okay, some say 13th as well. So 8th to 12th is mandatory. Okay, 8th of Dhul Hijjah to the 12th of Dhul Hijjah. And any other day that you perform, go to Kaaba and do Tawaf and Sa'i, that's considered Umrah. Okay, anything other than these days are Umrah. Okay, Umrah can be performed any day except for these Hajj days. Okay, and how do you perform Hajj? First, you make the intention, you put on the Ihram, then you do the Tawaf around the Kaaba 7 times, and then you do the Sa'i of Safa and Marwa, and then the Hajj, so that's Umrah. The Hajj is specifically, you start from the 8th, you go to Mina, on the 9th you go to Arafah, okay, and then on the 9th and 10th you go to Muzdalifah, on the 10th you perform the Rami, throw the stones, and then you offer the sacrifice, then you cut your hair, then Tawaf again, the farewell Tawaf, and then you do the Sa'i, and then you repeat the Rami again on the 11th and 12th, and then the final Tawaf, okay? So I'm not going to go into details of this, but you guys can read up on that, inshallah. So moving on, فَمَنْ لَمْ يَجِدْ فَصِيَامُ ثَلَاثَةِ أَيَّامٍ. So when you if you cannot sacrifice an animal, then what happens? Then you have to fast for 3 days doing Hajj. Okay, so what is the penalty for someone who does not sacrifice? You should fast for 3 days. وَسَبَعَةٍ إِذَا رَجَعْتُمْ. And 7 days when you come back home, when you come back to from your residence. Okay, تِلْكَ عَشْرَةٌ كَامِلَةٌ. Total 10 days of fasting if you don't slaughter an animal. ذَلِكَ لِمَنْ لَمْ يَكُنْ أَهْلُهُ حَاضِرِ الْمَسْجِدِ الْحَرَامِ. That is for someone who is not a resident of Mecca, of the sacred mosque, right, in Mecca. So if you stay in Mecca, this does not apply to you. Okay, you only fast for 3 days and that's it. But for those who don't reside in Mecca, they have to come back and perform the 10. Okay, total 10. وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ, and beware of Allah. وَاعْلَمُوا أَنَّ اللَّهَ شَدِيدُ الْعِقَابِ, and know that Allah is severe in retribution. Al-Hajj أشهر معلومات. The Hajj is performed in the known months, in the known months. فَمَنْ فَرِضَ فِيهِنَّ الْحَجِّ, and whoever makes the intention to go for Hajj, فَلَا رَفَثَ وَلَا فُسُوقَ وَلَا جِدَالَ فِي الْحَجِّ. They cannot have any sexual relationships. وَلَا فُسُوق, they should not indulge in any sins. وَلَا جِدَال, there should be no quarreling when you go for Hajj. في الحج وما تفعلوا من خير يعلمه الله. And whatever good you do, Allah knows it. وتزودوا, and take good provisions, prepare good provisions when you go for Hajj. But the best provision is فإن خير الزاد التقوى. But the provision that you need for Hajj is taqwa, because Hajj is a journey of the hereafter. And what do you need to be successful in the hereafter? Taqwa. وَاتَّقُونِ يَا أُولِي الْأَلْبَابِ. Be afraid of me, O people of intellect. لَيْسَ عَلَيْكُمْ جُنَاحٌ أَن تَبْتَغُوا فَضْلًا مِنْ رَبِّكُمْ. There is no sin upon you if you seek any bounty from your Lord in Hajj. So you're going for Hajj, but let's say you want to also kind of put up a small business to get some, a profit there. That is fine as well. There is no sin upon you in doing that. فَإِذَا أَفَضْتُم مِّنْ عَرَفَاتٍ. Well, when you pour out from Arafat, when you finish Arafat, فَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ عِنْدَ الْمَشْعَرِ الْحَرَامِ. Then remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala near the sacred spot. This refers to the Muzdalifah. Okay, after you finish Arafah, when you go to Muzdalifah, what should you be doing? Remembering Allah. وَاذْكُرُوهُ كَمَا هَدَاكُمْ. And remember Him as He has guided you. Thank Him that He guided you for this. وَإِن كُنْتُم مِّن قَبْلِهِ لَمِنَ الضَّالِّينَ. And you, before this, you were from the wrong, completely misguided. You were straight from the straight path, and so Allah guided you. You should thank Him. You see, the Arabs back in the days, from Arafah, they would go straight to Mina. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that when you finish Arafah, go to Muzdalifah, stay there. Okay, that's a new law. ثُمَّ فِيضُوا مِنْ حَيْثُ أَفَاضَ النَّاسُ وَاسْتَغْفِرُوا اللَّهَ. Then come out from where people come out. وَاسْتَغْفِرُوا اللَّهَ, and seek Allah's forgiveness. إِنَّ اللَّهَ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. Really, Allah is most forgiving and most merciful. فَإِذَا قَضَيْتُمْ مَنَاسِكَكُمْ. When you finish all the rituals of Hajj, whatever you need to do, what should you do? فَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ كَذِكْرِكُمْ آبَاءَكُمْ أَوْ أَشَدَّ ذِكْرًا. You should remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala like the way you used to remember your forefathers, or even more than that. So it was the Arab tradition that after they finished their Hajj, their version of Hajj, they would sit and praise their forefathers. You know, my grandfather was this and this. They would remember and praise their grandfathers and forefathers. So Allah is saying that you should remember me more than the way you used to remember your forefathers. فَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَقُولُ رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا وَمَا لَهُ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنْ خَلَاقٍ. And among the people is the one who says, رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيا حَسَنًا. Oh Allah, give us good in this dunya. وَمَا لَهُ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنْ خَلَاقٍ. رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيا وَمَا لَهُ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنْ خَلَاقٍ. Oh Allah, give us in this dunya, but they will not have anything in the hereafter. These are people, when they make dua, Allah is teaching us how to make dua. When you make dua, don't make dua for your dunya only. Your dua should be for the hereafter, something that concerns the hereafter. Okay? But like even the job that you're asking for, whatever good thing you ask for this dunya, that should somehow link back to the hereafter. Ya Allah, I want this job so that I can do more good deeds and I can, serve your creation better, something like that. You should always connect it back to Allah and the hereafter. That should be your focus. And we see the best example is Zakaria alayhi salam. When Zakaria alayhi salam, he's raising his hands to Allah and asking for a child. Ya Allah, I need a child. Why? He justifies, he explains. Why? Because I need a child who can carry on your legacy and teach your book. Because there's if I don't have a son, then who will teach your book, Ya Allah? Right? Zakaria alayhi salam. And so your concerns, you should make dua, Ya Allah, give iman to my children. Right? My dhurriya, look at Ibrahim alayhi salam, focusing on the iman of his children. Look at Yaqub alayhi salam, focusing on the iman of his children. And Zakaria alayhi salam, all these people. So your dua should connect to the hereafter for long term. You should think long term, not just dunya. So a person who just asks for dunya, he will have nothing in the hereafter. وَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ يَقُولُ رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنًا وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنًا وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. And among them is the one who says, oh Allah, give us good in this dunya and give us good in the hereafter. That's the best dua you can make. What is hasana? Allah knows best. So leave it to Allah. Don't make a specific dua. Don't say, Ya Allah, I need this. Ya Allah, I need that. Like very specific. Don't be like that. Ask Allah, Ya Allah, whatever you think is good, give it to me. In this dunya, give me all the hasana. And in the akhirah, give me hasana. And save us from the hellfire. أُولَٰئِكَ لَهُمْ نَصِيبٌ مِّمَّا كَسَبُوا. Those people, they will have a portion from what they earn. Wallahu sari'ul hisab, and Allah is quick in taking account. Wadhkurullaha fi ayyamin ma'dudat, and remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the few days. Ayyamin ma'dudat, these days are the 11th, 12th, and 13th of Dhul Hijjah. Okay, remember Hajj is from 8th to 12th, right, or 13th. So Allah is saying ayyam al-tashriq. These are ayyam al-tashriq, 11th, 12th, and 13th. Remember Allah in the days that are numbered. فَمَنْ تَعَجَّلَ فِي يَوْمَيْنِ. Whoever finishes Hajj in 2 days, meaning 11th and 12th, you finish it by 12th, then فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ, there is no sin upon you. وَمَنْ تَأَخَّرَ فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ. But if you stay till 13, there is no sin upon you. لِمَنِ اتَّقَى, for the one who fears Allah. Right? So you could finish it by 12, but you should go till 13th. وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ وَاعْلَمُوا أَنَّكُمْ إِلَيْهِ تُحْشَرُونَ. And beware and know that you are going to be returning to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَمِنَ النَّاسِ, and among the people is the one who يُعْجِبُكَ قَوْلُهُ فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا. So the two people who are compared here, and I'll conclude with that inshallah. وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يُعْجِبُكَ قَوْلُهُ فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا. And among the people you will find a person who impresses you with his speech in his worldly life. وَيُشْهِدُ اللَّهَ عَلَى مَا فِي قَلْبِهِ, and he calls to witness about what is in his heart. So he says that he believes in Allah and he speaks very eloquently, and you'll be impressed by him and you would think he's a true believer. وَهُوَ أَلَدُّ الْخِصَامِ, but he is the most fiercest in disputing. وَإِذَا تَوَلَّى سَعَى فِي الْأَرْضِ, but when he turns away from the people, he causes corruption in the land. لِيُفْسِدَ فِيهَا وَيُهْلِكَ الْحَرْثَ وَالنَّسْلِ, he causes corruption and destroys the crops and the cattle. وَاللَّهُ لَا يُحِبُّ الْفَسَادِ, Allah does not like the ones who cause corruption. And this is specifically referring to a munafiq by the name of al-Akhnas ibn Shariq. Right? Al-Akhnas ibn Shariq. He was someone who was very eloquent in Medina, but he was secretly an enemy of the believers. So you see people like that, Allah is warning the believers in the Medinan community especially. Right? In the Muslim community, you will find people who are spies. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُ اتَّقِ اللَّهِ, and when it is said to him, اتَّقِ اللَّهِ, fear Allah, أَخَذَتْهُ الْعِزَّةُ بِالْإِثْمِ, his arrogance makes him, more, he increases in sin, right? أَخَذَتْهُ الْعِزَّةُ, his arrogance increases him in sin. فَحَسْبُهُ جَهَنَّمْ, so hellfire is sufficient for him. وَلَبِئْسَ الْمِهَادُ, what a horrible resting place that is. وَمِنَ النَّاسِ, but on the flip side, you will find people, مَنْ يَشْرِي. So here, before I move on, here there are people, when you give them advice, they turn like, they become angry. Why? Like, no, I didn't do that. They defend themselves, right? That is not a sign of true faith. وَمِنَ النَّاسِ, but among the people, there are those مَنْ يَشْرِي نَفْسَهُ ابْتِغَاءَ مَرْضَاتِ اللَّهِ, those people who sell themselves off seeking the pleasure of Allah. They sell their soul to seek Allah's pleasure. Bani Israel, if you think about it, go back, they sold their soul to the shaitan. They sold their soul to the devil, right? They followed magic. That's what Allah uses. So here, they sold their soul to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is in reference to a Sahabi by the name of Suhaib ibn Sinan. Suhaib ibn Sinan. So he was barred by the Quraysh. They didn't let him go to Medina and during the hijrah, during the migration. And so they told him, if you want to go, you have to give us all your earnings, your gold, your silver, everything, then we'll let you go. And so he gives up his entire wealth so that he could go, right? So Allah is teaching us here, look, if you want the deen to come in your life and to spread in the dunya, you got to give up things in dunya, right? You give up your life, your wealth, everything, right? For this, something to come to fruition. Wallahu ra'ufun bil ibad, and Allah is very kind towards His servants. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu udkhulu fi silmi kaffa, O you who have believed, enter Islam in totality. That is, I would want to conclude with this ayah, inshallah, that O you who have believed, enter the deen with complete submission. That your thoughts, your theories, your culture, your sciences, your manners, your dealings, your efforts, and every aspect of life should be subordinated to Islam. That's it. That's your life. Every aspect of it should be for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, should be Islam. Kafa. وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا خُطُوَاتِ الشَّيْطَانِ, and do not follow the footsteps of shaitan. إِنَّهُ لَكُمْ عَدُوٌّ مُبِينٌ, verily he is a clear enemy to you. فَإِنْ زَلَّلْتُمْ مِنْ بَعْدِ مَا جَاءَتْكُمُ الْبَيِّنَاتِ, but if you slip from it and turn away from what has come to you, فَعْلَمُوا, then know, أَنَّ اللَّهَ عَزِيزٌ حَكِيمٌ, Allah is almighty and all wise. Okay, so sorry, there was just one more ayah that concludes this section. So let's just read this one more ayah, okay? هل ينظرون إلا أن يأتيهم الله في ظلل من الغمام والملائكة وقضي الأمر وإلى الله ترجع الأمور. Are they waiting that Allah should come from behind the shades of the clouds and the angels? Are they waiting for that to happen? Do they really want to wait till Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comes out and they see the reality of it? Well, but when that happens, when actually Allah comes and the angels come, the matter is settled. Meaning that's going to be the day of judgment. That's going to be too late. You have to have iman now. وَإِلَى اللَّهِ تُرْجَعُ الْأُمُورِ, and to Allah all affairs will be returned. So keep this in mind. Final point, inshallah, that belief in Allah has value only as long as the reality remains hidden from you. Your iman is only valuable, only worth it, as long as the truth, the reality, the unseen is hidden from you. Like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the angels and all that. But when you see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's going to be too late. So iman only has value as long as the reality remains hidden from you. And you use your senses and you use whatever Allah has given you, the ayat that Allah has given you, to recognize the truths and submit to the truth. Okay? It is the height of intellect. It is the height of intellect to submit towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? That's what this book teaches, that this book is a combination of brain and heart. Both are combined, and that's what a true belief is. Okay? So alhamdulillah, with that, we'll conclude. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik, nashhadu an la ilaha illa ant, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Sorry, you went 3 minutes over. Jazakumullah khairan. If you guys have any questions, you can ask. Otherwise, we'll conclude here. The recordings are posted one more time. Recordings are posted on the website. You can go to almanaratacademy.com and then you can go to programs, Dawrah Quran, you will see all the recordings there. And yeah, inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum. And also for those of you who don't know, there's also the same these same lectures happen in Urdu from 2 to 4. So if anybody is comfortable in Urdu, you can join that session as well. Okay, same link, everything. Okay, barakallahu lana wa lakum fil Quran al-Hakim wa nafa'ana wa iyyakum bil ayati wa dhikr al-Hakim. Let's conclude with the dua. Subhanallah bihamdihi adada khalqihi wa rida nafsihi wa zinata arshihi wa midada kalimatihi. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا وجعلنا مسلمين لك ومن ذريتنا أمة مسلمة لك وأرنا مناسكنا وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من البرص والجنون والجذام ومن سيء الأسقام. ربنا اغفر لي ولوالدي وللمؤمنين يوم يقوم الحساب. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين وجعلنا للمتقين إماما. آمين رب العالمين. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Okay, Jazakumullah khairan. I see you tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum.